So, in the previous video, we talked of Lucifer, and I pointed how I saw that the story of the downfall of Lucifer is quite similar to the downfall of the fall of man, in that Lucifer got prideful, and that cascaded to him trying to take God's place and eventually being cast down to earth. Coming down to earth, God was making man, which I also made the assumption that it's probably so that Lucifer can be saved. Also, it can be so that we can be a sort of replacement for Lucifer, because human beings, man, just as Lucifer, has free will. So either we were made to be the savior of Lucifer or a replacement of him. Either way, the two stories in the downfall, it's quite similar in that we see man was deceived, Eve was deceived into taking the forbidden fruit so that we can be like God. It's the same thing with Lucifer. He wanted to be like God, taking his position and ruling over everything. And so the question is, what if how we are told of angels and that we can't understand them? Are there beings which angels can't understand, where the only one who can understand is God, as he's beyond humanity, of course. He's also above angels. He's, let's put as an assumption of this, whatever deceived Lucifer must be a form of being higher than Lucifer in the ratio of how we see Lucifer. That's how Lucifer sees them. These beings that we cannot understand are those beings that angels like Lucifer can't understand. And so they're the ones who deceive Lucifer. Because even in physics, where there's an assumption that it can be infinitely much, the universe itself can be infinitely much. Because when we zoom out, the most we can see is the observable universe. And if we look down enough on a microscope, we get to see those particles that make up even atoms. Actually, those are actually theorized, but still, that's how small we can see and how big we can see. But then God can see beyond that, just as the angels and Lucifer. But then there is these other beings, those that deceived Lucifer. They themselves can see way beyond what the angels are. Essentially, they live where God is. So God lives in all these realities, being the most supreme being, because how else could he exist everywhere? And so how we can put it is how it's a story that constantly unfolds. We see we were deceived by Lucifer, but Lucifer was lied to. So this pride that led Lucifer to sin in that trying to take God's place and to deceive man, rendering faulty his salvation. And in such manner, if man does not turn his ways, he is susceptible to making the same fault that Lucifer did, leading to a cascade effect, because God has won the war. But how far is the war going? Because the story unfolded up to Lucifer, and how it would unfold to these other beings who are able to deceive Lucifer. And probably there's a page higher than that, the infinitely growing thing, because as it gets bigger and bigger, the story is lengthening, and in every page God exists, just so we can be saved, so that good is good and bad is bad, instead of having good as bad and bad as good, which is actually evil. In the sense, if how can bad be good and good be bad?